How did you think the candidates spoke specifically to Latino, African-American issues? Obviously, you're supporting Secretary Clinton. What from her did you think will connect?
She was honest. She didn't give answers that pandered. She showed her experience, and I also think she showed her humanity and how she's learned a great deal from being a mother, Secretary of State, senator, and certainly someone who lived in the Oval, in the White House for 8 years. I think she showed how she's a complete person and would make a great president.
You know, we are one of the campaigns that has the most progressive and the biggest plan on immigration that we have seen so far. Senator Clinton still doesn't have a plan. And, you know, he was talking about how much he actually, you know, cares not only about the undocumented community, but making sure that, you know, when he becomes president, that he does everything in his power to be able to allow the undocumented community to come out of the shadows, even if Congress doesn't act right away.
How can Secretary Clinton, who you're supporting, when she comes in, she's up against a growing chorus that has racial undertones. How could she kind of bridge that divide? Because I could tell you, I was just at a bunch of Trump rallies, and there's a lot of anger out there, and a lot of it's dangerous.
She's not going to go in that direction. She even responded that she wasn't going to engage in the same kind of, spiral down and bring your challenges down with you that way.
And so for Bernie, he has, you know, said over and over that he wants to bring people out of the shadows, and he wants to make sure that when, you know, we're going to win DAPA in the Supreme Court. We know that we are going to be able to win. And when that happens, he's going to be able to expand that so that more people can come out of the shadows, so that we can really show the American community how much of an impact we can have in the economy and how much of an impact we're going to be able to have in this country overall, so that, you know, that we can have people like Donald Trump not speak for us, but rather have, you know, our people speak for themselves.
How do you kind of eradicate that institutional racism?
You go into these homes, you go into the neighborhoods, and you let them know that you want to know about their experiences and work with them, which is what she's done for the 23 years that I've known her. And so it's not a case of being a stranger to this stuff. She understands it. She's made it very clear. Certainly her husband, President Clinton, he wasn't called the first black president for nothing. I think people knew that the Clintons really understood that they had to connect by knowing what they were, what folks were experiencing. And you're absolutely right. In the African American Latino communities, there's some real pain because there are some really talented people who just aren't being given the chance to demonstrate that talent in a good paying job, in a place where they have respect.
He has said over and over again that we need to make sure that we have first of all, an educated community, right, that can actually get better jobs. And unfortunately, our communities of color, especially, you know, within the Latino community, we don't have as many people or as many young people actually graduating from college or even being able to go to college. So one of the things that he has, you know, been proposing is, why don't we have free tuition on universities and colleges? Why can't we just give the opportunity for, you know, for young people to be able to go to college, be prepared, come out of college, and be able to get a better job? Now, when we are actually hired, you know, when folks are actually hired right now, people cannot really meet ends, right? They don't have enough money to be able to live a good life. And so why not raise the minimum wage to $15? Why not make sure that people who are breaking their backs every day, working 1 or 3 jobs, or 2 or 3 jobs, can actually work 1 job, spend time with their family, and actually be able to make a living wage. So one of the main points that we've been talking about in this campaign is the concept of the political revolution. And that concept basically speaks to that. How can we make sure that, you know, all these companies, millionaires, billionaires, people that can actually, you know, buy an election basically, are giving money to many, many candidates in this race. And fortunately, we have one of those candidates. Bernie has been the only candidate who has not taken money from any corporation.
Look, I think we're going to judge people on who they are and what they bring to the table. Secretary Clinton, at least from my perspective, brings a whole lot to the table that I've never seen in a package in most presidential candidates. She's been there and done that in so many things. She's tested, and at the end of the day, she's as tough as any candidate I've seen. Tough as nails.
it is very, very possible that when politicians and when people who are running for office get all this money from corporations, they get elected, obviously they have to listen to somebody. They have to listen to people who give them the money to be able to run. And so the reason why I joined Bernie in this campaign, it was because I knew that, you know, when he gets elected, he's going to listen to the people who are giving them, you know, the support instead of, you know, other candidates that are getting actually money from corporations and Wall Street and folks who have run our country for many years now.